we had to identify a whole lot of things on this particular wave. So this is the wavelength over here. Whoops.
What?
The wavelength over here. This over here is the amplitude. So I think this was A, amplitude was B, a peak was C, and a trough was D.
Are you talking to me?
Then it asks what happens to a transverse wave in a fixed end reflection. Fixed end reflections are inverted. And what happens in a free end reflection? None of them stay about the equilibrium position. It's in the same direction when it gets reflected. Now, I'm going to come back to the next one at the end. So a transverse wave is defined as a wave where the direction of propagation, in other words, the direction that the wave grows in, is perpendicular to the direction of motion of the particles. So A is your correct answer. Frequency is the number of vibrations per second. Period is the time taken for one vibration. You just need to know those definitions. The symbol and the unit of frequency are, frequency is F and HZ is hertz, and for period, capital T and is measured in seconds. Sorry, that's one line down. So T in seconds over there. Now comes the tricky one where you all had a bit of difficulty, or many of you had some difficulty. So let's try and make that a little bit bigger and take a look at it. Okay, you were asked about point J and you were asked about point D. The waves moving from the left towards the right. So now let's think about that. The next point, if this wave moves along like that, the point I will be where J is. In other words, this point would be over there in a short while. So J, this particle, actually needs to move downwards. Same idea over here. Point C needs to get to where point D is. In other words, point D needs to move upwards so that this wave can move past. If it's going to the right, C needs to take on that position, and you'll need to remember that animation, and if you need to look back at PhET simulations to see it, or back into the video to watch it, as that yellow dot goes up and down, it's counterintuitive. The wave is going from left to right. It looks like this is going uphill, but it's not. The next position is going to be I, it's going to go down. It looks like this is going downhill, it's not. The next position is going to be C, and it's going to come across.